Hello, welcome back to Misspelled classroom. Today in class we're going to talk about 50 of the most common spelling and grammar mistakes that you may make, or maybe you've seen someone make. And just a reminder, I'm using US American spelling, so if it's written in British or Canadian or Australian English, this might not be the correct way. So I'm going to go through some of them. So the first one we're going to talk about is anymore. So you can see here on the top one I have them separated, anymore, and on the bottom one it's together. And so anymore, this one, anymore, means any additional. So you might say she didn't want any more pizza. Any more together means any longer. So she didn't like cake anymore. So when you're using anymore and it's separated, it means any additional. And when you're using any more together, it means any longer. Okay, the next one, two words we're going to look at are blonde versus blonde with an E. So most style guides advise you to use blonde to describe a woman. So she was blonde, or the woman had blonde hair. And blonde is for men. So the man had blonde hair. So when you use the E, that's for women. And when there's no E, that is for men. Okay. So our next two words are break versus break. So B-R-E-K means to separate into pieces, and B-R-A-K-E is a device that slows down or stops a vehicle. So this means that you're splitting something into pieces, and this one means that you're driving a vehicle. Okay, so our next two. So we have canceled So this one has two L's and this one has one L. And with one L is the preferred spelling in American English. With two L's is the preferred spelling in British English. So when you say canceled for American English, you're going to want to use one L. When you say canceled in British English, when you're writing it, you're going to want to use the two L's. See the word Coke, if you mean the Coca-Cola drink, you need to make sure that you capitalize the C. So if I want to drink a Coke, I need to make sure I'm capitalizing the C. Okay, next one is build versus built. So we have build versus built. And build with a D is a verb. So I might say he will build the tent later. So it's a verb, they're doing something. But it can also be a noun. So he had a slim build. Built with the LT is the past tense of built. So I might say they built the tent last night. But I can also use it as an adjective. Say he was thinly built. So our next two words we're going to look at are breath and breathe. So breath is a noun. I might say he took a deep breath. Well, breathe is the verb. So she is breathing right now. Breathe. One got gray and gray. So G-R-E-Y and G-R-A-Y. And in American English, the color is spelled G-R-A-Y, while in British English, it's spelled G-R-E-Y. We have its versus it''s. So they're both its, and its is a possessive pronoun, so I might say its. That was, or the girl the dog ate its bone. So its would be the possessive, whereas it''s is the contraction. So it stands for it is, so I might say it's a rainy day. So this is the possessive, and then this is the contraction that stands for it is. Okay, next one is into, where into is one word, and then into, where it's two separate words. So into is a preposition that indicates movement towards something. So he led her into the kitchen. Into is part of a phrasal verb. So she was always tuned into the latest news. So with this word, here we have the word judgment. And judgment American English, the preferred spelling is without that E here. So you don't want to add the E there. So when you write judgment, you don't add the E if you're doing American English. Next two words that we're going to look at are lie and lay. So lie is an intransitive verb meaning to recline. And lay is a transitive verb meaning to put something down. So the tricky thing is that lay is also the past tense of lie. So I might say he lay on the couch. And the past tense of lay is laid. So he laid down the marker. Like and as / as if now. So in informal contexts such as talking, it's perfectly fine to use like and as or as if, because that's how talking some people might speak, but you never want to use like and as in place of as or as if. So a rule of thumb is if a noun follows, use like. If a clause containing a verb follows, use as or as if. So you might say, he looks like a model, or she looked at him as if he were an alien, or she felt like a loser. Okay. Okay. Here we have loathe without an E, and then we have loathe with an E. And loathe, L-O-A-T-H, is an adjective meaning reluctant or unwilling. So he was loath to admit his mistake, I might say, while L-O-A-T-H-E, loath, is a verb to detest. I loathe doing the dishes. So this means reluctant. And this means that you detest it. You really don't want to do it. Okay, so now we have lose versus loose. So lose means to fail or misplace something. So his team is going to lose, or I hope I don't lose my keys. While loose is the opposite of tight or tightening. So the shower hose was loose. Writing the word okay or okay, it's best to actually write it as O-K-A-Y. That would be the correct way. we have on to. Okay, so on to and on to sometimes get confused with each other. And so onto, onto is a preposition that means on top of. So he laid the keys onto the table, where the on and onto is part of a phrasal verb. So to hold on to log on. So the most common mistake with onto and onto is hold, held, holding onto. The correct spelling is hold, held, holding onto. So if you're holding something, you're going to want to use separate. But if you're putting something on something, you're going to want to use onto. Okay, our next two words we're going to look at are we have past and past. So past, P-A-S-S-E-D, is the past tense of the word pass. So meaning to move past. She passed him at the grocery store. P-A-S-T is a preposition. So he drove past the school. So here's a helpful tip. If there's already a verb of movement in the sentence, use P-A-S-T, not P-A-S-S-E-D. These two. So we've got the word shutter and shutter. So a shutter with TT is a movable window cover, while shutter is a synonym for shiver. So I might say the shutters shuddered in the storm. This means shiver with the two D's, and this is a window shutter. So some window shutters here. Okay. So we have stationary versus stationary. Okay, so we have stationary versus stationary. So S-T-A-T-I-O-N-A-R-Y is an adjective meaning unmoving or unchanging, while S-T-A-T-I-O-N-E-R-Y refers to paper and office supplies. So this one with the A means it's not moving. This one with the E is office supplies or paper. And R-E-I-G-N. So R-E-I-N are the straps you use, the reins, while riding a horse. And it means to control someone or something using reins. And R-E-I-G-N refers to royalty or royal power. So these are the horse straps. and the one with the G means royal power. Okay, so now we have P-E-A-K and P-E-K and P-I-Q-U-E. So we have peak. So peak is high point. So maybe it was the peak of the mountain. P-E-E-K means to glance at. So look at. So maybe I'll draw some eyes here. And P-I-Q-U-E means to arouse. So she piqued his interest and curiosity. Another common mistake you might see in spelling is with these two words. So S-C-A-R-R-E-D means having scars, and with one R means afraid. You're afraid of something. There's some more here. So we have W-E-A-R-Y, weary. Where's W-A-R-Y, weary? So W-E-A-R-Y means tired of. She grew weary of the same old argument. While W-A-R-Y means cautious. The E means you're tired of it, and with no E it means you're cautious. We're going to look at whose, so W-H-O apostrophe S and W-H-O-S-E, whose. So W-H-O-S is a contraction of who is, and W-H-O-S-E is the possessive form of who. So whose shoes are these? It's going to be who is coming to movie night. You're writing this word, acknowledgement. Try that again. So a lot of times people spell it like this. Acknowledgement. In American English, you actually want to take out this E here. Acknowledgement. So you don't want to add that extra E in American English. A-F-F-E-C-T and E-F-F-E-C-T, so effect. So A-F-F-E-C-T is a verb meaning to influence. So the disease affects mostly elderly people. But it can also be a noun, which refers to someone's state, emotional state. And EFFECT is usually meaning result. Okay, so the effect of the disease was devastating. But it can also mean to cause. So the E means result, and with the A, it usually means to influence. Sorry. Okay. Next one we're going to talk about is this word here. So, all right. So this is actually not a word, and I think it comes from using other words that have that all there, like already, but it's actually spelled separately. It's the word all and right. So you don't want to spell it like this. When you say all right and you spell it, you want to say all right and separate those. Going to talk about is then and than. And so then means an adverb of time. So he closed the door, then walked inside. Than is used in comparisons. So she was smarter than him. So this means compare, and this one means an adverb of time. So you did something and then did something else. Okay, so for this word, t-shirt, did you know you actually need to capitalize the T when you write the word t-shirt? So you always want to make sure you capitalize the T. So in American English, sometimes we see the word towards. So towards, we want to spell it toward, okay? And so you actually don't want to do this one in American English. This is more common in British English. So you want to say toward. Unfazed. So unfazed actually means the same as undaunted and is actually spelled unfazed. It has nothing to do with the face. So unfazed is spelled like this. Another common spelling is the word vice, like. So if someone clutches something tightly, their grip is actually vice with an S, vice-like. And so the word vice is a clamp, and VICE is a bad habit. So So when you are clutching something, you're going to want to use vice with an S. Okay, we're going to do one more today. So we have W-A-I-V-E and W-A-V-E. So W-A-I-V-E means to replenish a right. So maybe the office waved your feet, and wave means to move back and forth. So maybe you wave to your friends. And those are some of the common spelling errors and grammar errors that you might see. I didn't get to all 50 of them, but thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. I will talk to you later. Goodbye.